Joining me now for a market update is Abdul Garba. He's an equities analyst at Don Lauren Merrifield. Thank you so much, Abdul, for your time as usual. Well, let's start with Dangote Flour's Q3 results. We're looking at very abysmal numbers from this company. Now, what is ailing this company's financials?
Well, basically, it has been a trend for the last reporting quarters, 2 or 3 quarters, so to speak. Dangote Flour has not been able to basically put in the benefits from its own acquisition. It has not been able to plug it into the numbers for which it's earning right now, and it has not been able to it should demonstrate that its operations can guarantee value for shareholders. The biggest 2 causes of concern here are largely the interest cost and distribution expenses, both of which have doubled over this reporting period, so amounting to about 6 billion naira in losses.
So do you think this is a trend that will continue? Because, you know, sometimes for some of these companies, when they embark on expansion measures, of course, that puts pressure on their financials. But sometimes also investors look past that. They look at the fundamentals, they look at the management in charge of these companies, and they remain confident that over time that these companies will recover, at least their bottom lines will recover. Is that what's happening with Dangote Flour?
Yeah, it's hard to actually put a finger on it here, because what appears for Dangote Flour appears to be transient. It's likely to go on for the short run. At least we have faith in that. But the acquisition by Tiger Brands is supposed to bring in numbers that are good for Dangote Flour. Dangote Flour should be able to sell its goods to one big parent, or be involved in some sort of intercompany sales to basically push in products and brands, but that is not likely to be keyed to be factored in investors' minds right now. It's actually a concern.
Okay, will you be reviewing your forecast for this stock, perhaps downgrading it, perhaps a sell?
Well, certainly in the short term, we're likely to see this trend of, unless checked, losses, as even the industry basically milling on its own doesn't show strong margins, especially for the company.
Okay, let's leave Dangote Flour. Let's head on to Guinness. Quite interesting what's going on with Guinness right now. We saw its poor Q3 numbers about 3 or 4 days ago, and we know that the stock has been taking a hit. But it has seems to have made a dramatic turnaround. I'm looking at the top advances list right now. Guinness is leading all the stocks with 3.95 naira. We saw some profit taking. Is this presenting a good entry point for some investors, or why the change in sentiment?
Well, basically, you want to look at the industry as a whole. Also, in terms of performance, companies within it, you're seeing where you have a slowdown in sales, and it might be transient again, and a lot of people share that. Yes, it has to do with consumer spending, which has basically gone lower, and then demand for Guinness's products on the which is anticipated to be on growth, is actually stalling quite a bit here. And then on its balance sheet and income statements, you could see basically some volatility, so to speak, in terms of wages and its ability to generate cash.
Okay,
so yes.
Okay, I'm looking at the all-share index now. It's really gaining a lot, now at 38,456 points. Obviously, positive sentiment at the market at the moment.
Yes.
Has this got anything to do with the MPC meeting yesterday? We had members conclude the meeting yesterday, or the market didn't pay any attention to that?
Basically will attribute much of this performance to what the energy sector is doing, oil and gas sector. Oil and gas marketing, again, Oando, and building materials, which has offered some stability to it. But in terms of the back sector, there's not been much going on there. It's actually on a positive note. It's one of the contributors for today, and has nothing to do with the announcement of yesterday.
All right, thank you, Abdul. We're going to have to leave it there. Thank you for taking us through market sentiment. Abdul Garba, research equities analyst at Don Lauren Merrifield.